going to talk. And go ahead and talk, sister. They can hear you.
First, I'm gonna have to extend my condolences to the young lady who lost her life. I agree with you that we shouldn't have to lose anyone to that type of violence. As a black woman who created life, who have given life, it's sad because it's like we should be protected. We should feel safe everywhere we go. We shouldn't feel that we have to be scared to be around our own black men, because that's what it draws to. We shouldn't have to be scared of each other. With all the racism that's going on in this country, with the coronavirus, with so many things going on, homelessness, depression, mental illness, we shouldn't have to be scared of each other as far as taking from each other, beating each other, robbing each other, raping each other, whatever. Chicago is just a city. It's a city with buildings, it's water, it's just a land. The people is what makes the city. We can't keep saying Chicago's bad. No, let's just call it for what it is. We're bad. We are bad people, some of us. Not all, some of us. And it goes to accountability. No one wants to sit down. We don't want to sit down at the table as African Americans and say, you know what, we got some issues. We really need to sit down and talk about these issues. What we want to do is close it off. We want to take offense to everything. We got to be careful with our words, which is very true. But it's like, at certain times, when are we going to stand up and say, you know what, I'm tired. We're trying to create a new generation, but we can't, because these kids are losing their fathers and mothers. It's unfortunate when the police officers see the trauma in our neighborhoods. They really don't care. They just doing a job, some of them. Not all, but some just doing a job. And I understand their job can get exhausted too, because to see that constantly every day, that's not normal. It's not normal to see trauma every day. It's not. It's like a lot of us have to go out and provide for ourselves and our family, which is a normal thing to do. But we shouldn't be scared. We shouldn't be scared of one another. We shouldn't have to play dodge bullets. We shouldn't be scared they're going to break into the stores where we shop at, where we buy food at. Then it's like when they tear up a neighborhood, their own neighborhood, they go in other neighborhoods, and they really don't want us there either. They don't, because they think we all the same, and we're not. As you stated before, this year just started. So imagine what's to follow. We got coronavirus. We got people losing their lives from that. That's a scary thing. We don't know what's really going on in the world, but when we look at the news, we see the worst of the worst of the worst of the worst. The worst of the worst. And you know, it's like, it's a constant thing. Like, people always say, be safe. You shouldn't have to say be safe to each other when you about to leave one another. You shouldn't have to do all these things. This is not normal. It's not. It's like each generation supposed to teach, but it's like the teachers stop. I don't know if social media plays a big part in the illusion of people. It's like, I'm going to do whatever it takes by any means necessary to get what I want to get. I don't care who heart I break or who feelings I step on or who I take and rob from. It's never enough if you constantly keep doing that. It's like a lot of the men, some of them are in jail. A lot of them are in jail. So it's mostly women. It's mostly black women. We have to talk to each other and have these conversations about the men we choose to entertain, even our brothers and our cousins. We got to have these conversations. With our sons, we have to have these conversations, because we're not having these conversations. All we're doing is sitting there posting stuff on Facebook, and we're angry and we're riled up, and that's understandable. But what is the solutions? What are we going to the drawing board with? We're not talking about anything. It's constantly, all I keep saying is, I hate Chicago. I hate Chicago. No, Chicago is a city. It's the city that's diverse. It's separated. It's, but at the same time, you look at the west side, south side, low end. That's mostly where all the black people mostly live. And you go through Inglewood, you go through South Shore, a lot of places, it's just hell. And it's like, why is it like this? It seems like nowhere you go, you feel safe. And it's sad. That's not a normal way to live. That's not a normal way to function. You shouldn't have to worry about when you leave out your door, someone's going to harm you, someone's going to rob you, someone's going to rape you that looks just like you. You look just like me, and you want to take the little I have, or whatever you have, you want to take it. And you don't care what the cost is. I just want to take it from you because I'm too lazy to go get it myself. I don't want to work nobody's job. I understand that. Well, you need to be an entrepreneur. When I say not steal, I mean earn your stripes. But these conversations don't never want to be talked about. We got people who normally know the things their family members do, and they act like it's nothing. They turn a blind eye to it. They act like it's nothing. Until they become the victim, then it's a problem. We need to have these conversations. You know, we need to really come together because we can't come together when it's a police killer. We can't do that. That's played out. We can't keep doing that. We got to start talking about the safety in our neighborhoods, the men that these women choose to entertain. If you're a woman that's about something, you got to not deal with a zero type of guy that's going to put you at harm. A real man protects his family. That's what he does. You got even brothers. You even got, brother and sister relationships where the brother still protects his sister. He protects his mother. He brings no harm to them. But these young guys are bringing harm to their mothers, to their brothers and sisters, to their kids. And it's like nonstop. But no one wants to talk about these issues because they don't want to offend anyone. And I understand you got to be careful what you say. But we have a big issue, and the issue is just self-hate. I hate myself. I don't like what I look like. I don't like the person that looks like me neither. Because we constantly commit crime with each other. And I'm not saying we should commit crime to others. No, we shouldn't commit crime to anyone. But it starts with us. And you constantly see everything's avoided. Everything's avoided that needs to be talked about. Everything is swept under the rug. No one wants to talk about it. You had a no snitching and all that. And that's understandable to a degree, but what if it's your loved one? Then what? Chicago is not that big of a city. Everybody kind of knows everyone. We can solve a lot of crime out here, but you got people who will sit there and they'll sweep it down. They're sad for a person, but they only know who did this to this person. You see the pain in this woman's face, this man's face, this sister's face, this child's face, but you turn the other way. And that's the biggest problem. Chicago is not that big. And so, Martin, every time you see stuff on the news, whatever, and no one sticks up and no one tells what happened or, try to come together on anything to get these people out of our neighborhood to stop this, we're going to have these issues. We're going to have worse issues than that.
Let me ask you a question, Ms. Pendleton. Do you feel safe in Chicago as a woman?
Part of me do, part of me don't, but I can't function correctly if I'm worried. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's like you just have to ask God to protect you when you leave out, and thank God when you make it in that He protected you. Because if you worry about what's going to go bad out the door, you will lose your mind. Mm-hmm. You got to make a living. You got to do what you need to do. So I just pray that I make it to when I'm going and when I make it when I come back. That's all you can do. Because the sad thing is trouble is everywhere you go. You can go to every state, and that's even like in Georgia, certain places, we can have it there too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a lot of people saying, let's leave Chicago, but Chicago is a beautiful city. Like I've been said on your show before, you see how the low end is. Remember the low end was the worst end.
Yeah.
But look what they did. They built that up, and they're coming back every which way. Inglewood, South Shore. They want them to keep acting the fool so we can let the property value go lower and lower, and we can get y'all up out of here. Because that's the goal, to get you all out of here. And you're going to give it to them. Stop giving them everything and feel like you deserve to be here just as well as they do. But unfortunately, a lot of these women, because the women are the ones mostly had apartments, am I correct, or houses, right?
Yeah, you're correct.
So Where are these guys living at? Bingo, there. You got that mother who won't allow her son to grow up because she can't take him off her titty. And so he sits there in and out of jail, making babies. She's still calling him her baby. No, he's a grown man. Make him man up and be one. And that's the problem. Or you get these young girls, or older women too, they go get these free housing vouchers. They move out of town to get them because this is what they do. And they come back to the city, and first thing they do is move some piece of crap guy in, and he's going to wreak havoc. He has no job. He don't intend to get no job, and this is what she like. And he brings harm not only to her but her kids. This is a constant thing. It's some outstanding brothers out here, but the guys they choose that are not outstanding, they're criminals. They're pure criminals. And when she moves him in that nice neighborhood, he wreaks havoc in that neighborhood. And that's just how it is out throughout the city. A lot of these women deal with these certain type of males. I think it's just pure desperation because there's some good brothers out here that work 9 to 5. They probably don't have the money these girls looking for, but they don't have the problems either. If you look at a lot of women, and I'm sure you've seen some guy that moved in her house, he's carrying guns, he just wreaking havoc. And she has no issue with it until it comes to her doorstep. And this is the biggest problem throughout the city. It's these women and the men that are moving in their place. And their kids and their sons too. This is the problem. Look at Parkway Gardens. Look what you see. You see women with kids, and guess what you see? A bunch of guys that just not about shit. I'm going to call it for what it is. But they cling on to these guys for whatever excitement, and he is making you a target. We got to clean that type of stuff up. We do. Because if we don't, they're going to move them all out the city, right? And they're going to put them all out in the suburbs and all that. And then when the plumbing and the sewage go bad, they're going to be stuck out there. That's why you see the cost of living in Chicago constantly going up. The more crime go up, the more the rent goes to go up.
That's true. Well, I got one more question for you too. I know you're a person for family, but sometimes I believe in love. I tell my daughter, I got some young daughters. They're young adults. I believe in love, but do not entertain negative company. You know, if you know I'm about this life, and you know when I'm talking about banging, gang banging, whatever I'm into, if I'm about the street life. So street life. If I'm dating a woman and I'm about the street life, I'm into what, sticking up, robbing, drive-bys, whatever. And you know it. I've been shot at 2 or 3 times, and I can't go nowhere without my gun. When you pull up at the gas station, I can't get out of the car. You got to pump the gas and pay for it. You know, that's dangerous. Young lady, I believe in love. I believe in relationship. But if this going to endanger your safety and your little bitty children's safety, leave him alone or date him behind closed doors. Don't be seen in public with him. Because go ahead, let me just say this. Most of these guys, when they commit these crimes, they don't tell their female everything, and they shouldn't. I don't blame them. That's all I'm saying. So when a guy come around, find out, get wind of, hey, I believe Martin was behind this. Okay, let's go find him. I know he drive a truck. I know he got this car. Let's go look for him. Now, all they see is the car with tinted windows. They don't know who's behind the car. It could be my woman driving that day. And you know what happened? They're not finna, young ladies, listen to me, ladies, and I'm going to let you talk. They're not finna look inside the car and say, roll down the window and let me see if he in there. They're going to spray that car up like they're going to spray it. I'm going to leave it right there. Go ahead, sister. Go ahead.
Okay, it goes this way, right? If I got a mom, right, I got a pretty decent mom that always worked and was about something, right, and I got a father who always worked, right? 9 times out of 10, if I make a choice when I'm older, I'm going to deal with somebody who always worked. Yes. A lot of times, a lot of females deal with them type of guys because their father was in the streets, so he's in and out the penitentiary, and they think it's cool. And the mom sits there, and she don't tell them, you look, I dealt with your father was in and out of penitentiary, and that's why this, I don't want you dealing with nobody like that. They think it's cool. You know, they want the cool guy, the bad guy. A decent man would never put his family nowhere near his bullshit. He would never do that. That's even when you look at, you remember you look at old mafia movies, even the mafia men, they never put their women and their kids in their bullshit. Their shit was far away.
Mm-hmm.
These are males, people with penises. These not men. These females are excited by the way he dressed, the way he looked, his swag. And that's the mentality of a little ass girl. Because a real woman not going to deal with that type of bullshit. She love her life and she love her peace. She's not going to entertain that type of male. She's not. That lets you know, unfortunately, a lot of women have low self-esteem. They're just not going to see it. Because why would you deal with somebody that's going to endanger not just your life, but your child life? But it's the excitement of dealing with this guy. He can be around me all day. I can watch him all day because he don't have he don't push a time clock. His lifestyle is exciting for me. And a lot of them deal with this type of stuff because it goes back to a lot of their daddies was in and out of jail or was a street guy, and their mom sit there and bragged and boast about their father. She just told them that little part, but she ain't tell them all the other bullshit she dealt with.
Mm.
And a lot of them, that's the type of guys they choose because he's exciting. And you know that exciting man only got two choices, the penitentiary or the cemetery, am I right?
You're right.
But they don't see that right now. They think it's fun, they think it's cool. There's nothing cool about that. And then their kids, unfortunately, end up losing a parent. And they look back and say, damn, that people still sit and boast and brag about, well, you know, your dad was this and he was this big drug, he was this. But tell your kids, yeah, your father was this big drug dealer, but look what it cost him. It took him away from you, whether it's in a cemetery or in the penitentiary. That's not normal, but it seems to be the normal in our neighborhoods. Like, I grew up in the projects till I was 15 years old. And the females wanted the drug dealers. They didn't want the college guys. They didn't want the brothers who was going about to be something. They didn't want them. They wanted them later in life, but them guys didn't want their ass. Because the drug dealer had the money then and the clothes. And it's like years ahead, it's the same mentality. They like the guy with the swag and he looking good and smelling good. But he's putting them in danger. He's putting their kids in danger. He's wreaking havoc on our neighborhoods. This is what he's doing.
Mm. Wow. It's amazing. All right, that's it. I'm letting somebody else. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to let you put somebody else.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so
You're
much. All right, bye-bye. Yes. All right, next. I think Miss Wright was next. Miss Wright, where are you? Come on in. I need y'all to talk now. We got to talk, people. This is talking now. And cause see, I'm gonna tell y'all women. Let me just say something. I'm gonna tell you, all that social media beefing, jumping in men faces, jumping in the inbox talking crazy, telling what you're gonna do to them, and all that masculine energy that you putting out there in the airways. Listen, you got some men will make you live up to that. I'm telling you. You jump in a man's face like a man, he's going to do something to you like a man. Very few men will walk away and say, you know what, go get your brother, go get your father, go get your cousin. You're a woman, I won't do nothing to you. But they will. We're living in a different generation. That's what we're living in.